there was something deeply frustrating about the way in which Walz normalized Vance. I get the the strategy of saying, I agree with my fellow senator here, and I believe in bipartisanship, and I think a lot of voters have a sense of like, hey, why can't we all just get along, and that's enough with the divisiveness. So I'm guessing that was a strategy, not just an accident. But at the same time, I think Walls missed a couple of crucial opportunities. One is to explain to the American voters why Trump and Vance are leaning into the craziness, into the racism of claiming that Haitian immigrants are eating dogs and cats. Um, and to use it as an opportunity not simply to blast them as bigots, but to blast them as demagogues. To say to the American people, they know that what they really want to do with the country are not things that you would support. They know that you would be opposed to more tax cuts for the billionaires. They know that you would be opposed to the sort of cryptocurrency pyramid scheme frauds that they intend to run. And then on Vance's part, he knows very well that the social vision of conservative Catholicism that he hopes to have the power to implement is not something the vast majority of Americans would go along voluntarily if they understood its full contours. And how do we know they know it? Look at how hard they're running away from Project 2025, right? Like they know, right? And but for an opportunity for Walls to say, they want to run away from, they don't want you to know what they really intend to do. And how do they distract us? How do they divide us? How do they convince some of us to support these extreme agendas, extreme both in terms of plutocracy, but extreme in terms of a religiously inspired dogmatic use of government, right? Like something that's completely antithetical to the American tradition. How do they get people to go along? They use racist scare stories, right? And I really wish he'd taken the time to lay that out, and to say, and I think Springfield is such an incredible opportunity to say, and here's the truth about these racist scare stories. It doesn't just hurt people of color. Look what's happening to the town. Look at the bomb threats. Look at these threats against this factory owner who, by the way, was a Republican. When our leaders start turning us against each other and start stoking hate and violence, we all suffer. And it doesn't really matter what race you are. It doesn't even matter what your party is. It doesn't matter your economic position. At a certain point, when you push society towards violence, it's going to be bad for all of us. Like that, Springfield would have been really great. Here's the other thing, and this is the sort of you know, what I wish Walls had said, right? But I wish he'd prepared some remarks about what it means to have political leaders who lie about the fundamentals, and really had said to the American people, kind of broken the fourth wall and looked right into the camera and said, listen, it's got to be clear to you that this guy's lying. And I don't, and that's not a small thing. What does it mean to have a leader in a democracy who lies to you about the most important things in your life? What does that imply about the health of our country? What does that suggest about the future direction? What does it tell us, not just about the character of these people, but what does it tell us about the way they will wield power and whether we can trust them to protect us or instead to seek power for themselves, right? Like something really, because the lying has become normalized. Um, you saw the sort of both siderisms when they said to Tim Walz, "Well, it seems like you misspoke about whether you were in China during Tiananmen Square." And oh, by the way, JD Vance, you called Trump America's Hitler, but you've changed your mind, right? Like those are the questions they paired, and I really think it was an opportunity for Walz to say, "Listen, politicians misspeak. Politicians lie the truth. Sometimes politicians spin the truth, but there's something qualitatively different about Trump and Vance. They are lying about what's fundamentally going on in the country. And that has profound implications for who they are, for the threat they pose, for what's going to happen to us as a society if we elect these people."